So thank you very much. We are continuing with that legacy. And before I proceed, I would like to tell you that physiotherapy and vestibular rehabilitations are two different things. Vestibular rehabilitation is kind of a subset which requires really a lot of learning, lateral thinking, and a lot of understanding. As beautifully Dr. Vivek said, it's like a banyan tree and we don't know where the main root, mother root is. So as you delve more into vestibular rehabilitation, you realize that that is just the tip of the iceberg and there's a lot more to go inside. So my topic today is integrating vestibular rehabilitation with other therapeutic modalities. In other words, if I have to put it very simply, it is integrating vestibular rehabilitation in physiotherapy practices. I guess that will make the topic more relevant and understandable. So if we talk about vestibular system, I think this has already been beautifully taken up by all amazing speakers. And when we talk about vestibular rehabilitation, one thing has to be understood. As physical therapists, and now recently we've got the bylaws by Government of India, we are practicing independently, we have the decision-making capacity. But when it comes to vestibular rehabilitation, in my little experience by far, I feel the cross-reference or the involvement of a neurophysician and an ENT is very, very important. Because vestibular is, I said, it's just the tip of the iceberg. You're going to really miss it out if your team is not interdisciplinary and expanded. So it is the proprioceptive somatosensory system. Rather, now we have a beautiful term for it. It's kind of a hallucination. When I talk about vertigo, vestibular system is another, we just recognize it as vertigo. So it is just a hallucination kind of feeling. When to give vestibular rehabilitation? Number one, when your physician says. Most of the time now we get referrals from our neurophysician, ENT department, start with the vestibular rehabilitation. Or when my regular physiotherapy patient has come with complaints of dizziness or vertigo, which is associated with imbalance, unsteadiness, which is increased by head movements or visual motion, difficulty walking in low light, and history of vestibular injury. Now here I have a very interesting case to discuss. Recently we had a patient from Qatar. He had just one complaint. Whenever I drive, my car starts going to one direction. We said, okay, you stop driving. He said, that's not a choice because I stay in Qatar, I have to drive to my work. So we said, okay, what are you doing now? He said, I leave early in the hours in the slowest lane so that there is no traffic around. Whenever I see the traffic, I start deviating. We ran all sorts of tests on him and later we realized probably he suffered from motorist vestibular disorientation syndrome. That was just one case that we saw and now he's going to come back in July for further rehabilitation and correcting his imbalance issues. So that is what I say, that's the beauty of vestibular rehabilitation. There are subtle changes, there are subtle complaints which we often tend to miss, but they definitely are very debilitating for the patient. Now, the wide spectrum of vestibular disorders, this has been already covered beautifully. We have the peripheral vestibular disorders, we have the central vestibular disorders, we have functional and complex dizziness. Now, that's really one of the most difficult entities because when we have a patient with vestibular migraine with a lot of somatosization, it becomes very difficult to break that vicious cycle. And as one of the speakers said, it's kind of a sensation on a board. They keep calling us back and they feel कि हमें लग रहा है हम ऊपर उठते जा रहे हैं. कल तक ठीक था, आज सुबह उठे तो लग रहा है. There are very bizarre kind of terms which you may come across rather than just एक घुमरी जैसी लगा था, वो term बहुत कम ही हमें सुनने को मिलता है. And then yes, gait and balance disorders, they are very much a part of our vestibular rehabilitation group. So now what is vestibular rehab? It's a targeted therapy for disorders of the inner ear and central balance system. It is rooted in the principles of neural plasticity and central compensation, and I'm sure most of the rehabilitation experts can associate because the entire stroke management, it relies on the neural plasticity principle. And the core goal is to improve gaze stability, posture control, and reduce dizziness and vertigo. So it works best, as we say, tailor-made therapies are always the best therapies. And why integrate with other modalities? Because many vestibular patients also have coexisting issues which we cannot ignore. Pure vestibular rehabilitation may not fully address all the contributing factors. So when I talk about vestibular rehabilitation, it is a mixture of specialized vestibular rehab plus our regular physiotherapy rehabilitation protocols. And integration definitely leads to faster recovery, better compliance, and long-term neuroplastic adaptation. Just now, one of the speakers just mentioned, like when we have recurrent episodes of vertigo, we have to look into these robotic therapies, virtual reality. Yes, the science is advancing, AI system is a game changer, but the question lies how to integrate that in our practice and how to make patient compliant about it. At the end, when we are talking about vestibular rehabilitation, you want to wean off your patient from vestibular suppressants. Compliance is one thing which is very, very important. If your patient is not turning up for these sessions, then it has got no advantage. So multimodal approach is holistic and sustainable outcome, and it enhances patient-centered. Now, let's start integrated with various modalities. Neurological physiotherapy integration. It is vestibular rehabilitation is important in stroke, Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis and traumatic brain injury. And why it is important, it has already been covered by previous speakers. It emphasizes on sensory integration, neuromotor re-education and dual tasking. So what I'm trying to tell you is these are our principles of physiotherapy. We have to combine them with the vestibular rehab principle to get the best results for our patient. It enhances postural stability and adaptive balance control. As Dr. Abhishek beautifully said, what is our purpose? Our purpose is कि हमारा patient अपनी दिनचर्या आराम से कर सके. For that they need good balance and they need their stabilization of the vision to carry out their ADLs. And neurological physiotherapy, it includes neurofacilitation, PNF methods, coping strategies with fatigue, spasticity, movement freezing, and this integration ensures both central and peripheral systems are harmonized. Next we come to cervical spine. I know the cervical spine has been the talk for today. A lot of patients, they usually annoy us coming with the cervical collar, and the first thing we tell them is to get rid of the cervical collar. One of the reasons is that our cervical position sense, it is located in the proprioceptive sense is located in our cervical vertebra. So it becomes very important for us to understand how the cervical spine is behaving. If I'm just concerned with my vestibular part and I'm not taking care with the postural alignment of the cervical spine and all, I'm going to really miss my target. So it's very important. We have a couple of tests that we do, gaze stabilization, and as you just heard, Dr. Vishal said, we have the LAR and the RALF movement. So that is also a part of rehabilitation that we include so as to acclimatize those canals with the proper motion and reduce the vertigo attacks. And in our clinic, we are happy to use the laser through that because see, to get the compliance of the patient, it becomes imperative to show them the feedback. Today, it's time to get the biofeedback for every movement our patient is doing. So the same thing, we are trying to do that in vestibular rehabilitation. So combining cervical mobilization, trigger point release, deep neck flexor training with vestibular rehab can significantly enhance the outcome. So I will again repeat, vestibular rehabilitation is not physiotherapy. These are two different subsets and they both require specialization at their own level, and we as a physiotherapist have an advantage that we can take care of the other comorbidities also. So now let's talk about clinical Pilates and core stabilization. This is also a very important aspect of our vestibular rehabilitation. Why? Now we have, earlier we used to do mat Pilates, then we had the Pilates ring, now we have whole sorts of instruments that we regularly use and make patient aware about their core. Why? Because in vestibular, I'm talking about imbalance. If I'm talking about imbalance, then core has to come into the picture. So it builds trunk control, it builds spinal alignment, it reduces compensatory sway, enhances dynamic balance. Core stability aids in vestibular, visual and spinal coordination. So probably as beautifully pointed out in the discussion, if we have recurrent episodes coming, probably we are missing out on certain physiotherapeutic or vestibular therapeutic part of patient treatment. A stable core provides the foundation for effective balance and postural reactions, and clinical Pilates definitely improves lumbopelvic control and proprioceptive senses. So for vestibular patients, integrating core strengthening with vestibular rehabilitation, it reduces energy expenditure, which is very, very important when we talk about multiple sclerosis patient, where fatigue is one of the delimiting factors for any kind of exercise activity. It enhances movement economy and facilitates functional re-entry, especially in older adult and athletes. Another interesting, this is one of my favorite areas, that is oculomotor and visual training. Now, gone are those days when we used to tell the patient, ऐसे देखिए, ball लेके उठा लिए, सिर ऐसे हिलाइए. They do it till they are in our OPD. The moment they are out of the OPD, everything is gone and they are again in their spinning world. So luckily, our center is equipped with latest techniques which provide biofeedback. This is the blaze pod, what the lady is doing on the top section, you can see. So she has to look in straight. The gaze has to be maintained straight, and then she has to keep striking it wherever the light comes. So that gives her a confidence to maintain the balance and to stabilize her gaze. And down, as you can see, we have various kinds of vergence exercises, we have gaze habituation exercises, patients with motion sickness, habituation exercises for those. So they all help us to reduce the visual vertigo, and we are able to use this biofeedback mechanism to make the training more harder and harder. So that is the beauty of biofeedback and through robotics or using AI systems. And then, as you go further into vestibular arena, you will understand there is an entity PPPD. That is one somatization or what, it's a question mark, and it's very, very difficult to break that cycle of triple PD. Patient will keep coming back with the same boat kind of sensation. हम ज़मीन से उठ रहे हैं, हमें balance नहीं मिल रहा. So we feel there's a lot of role of our autonomic nervous system also. We have to get certain technologies from where we can reduce their stress, and in our clinic we use the Relax 701. That's a beautiful biofeedback machine where we get galvanic skin resistance feedback, where we get the your EMG, and we basically respiration rate. We try to understand that if we put our patient into stress relieving therapy through specialized music designed for them, how is the heart rate variability, how is the muscle relaxation restored. And to our surprise, in 5 to 6 sittings, we are able to get quantitative graphical results. I'm not talking about subjective scores here, VAS scale. I'm telling about the proper graphs that we get out of those patients which quantify that the results have been achieved. And next, yes, robotic, it's the era of robotics. So now to get the exact evaluation that how much my balance is impaired, we are using the robotic balance platforms. We are using dynamic posturography, and all this is happening in our Patna. We are very glad about it. There is objective tracking, and when patient says कि मैं डगमगाता हूँ, तो we try to analyze properly कि वो आगे पीछे डगमगा रहे हैं, दाएं बाएं डगमगा रहे हैं, और it is an accumulation of the entire AP and sagittal plane, which we call it as global. And once we get that, we have virtual reality based exercise, we have different softwares through which the patient has to track certain areas. Sometimes they are standing on firm surface, sometimes they are standing on foam surfaces, to give different kind of proprioceptive challenges to them to achieve these results. And yes, motion sensors are one another game changers. When we tell our patients, okay, come on, you need to strengthen your lower limb muscles, you need to perform better, it is always good to give them the result. हर बच्चा परफॉर्म करता है जब उसको लगता है मैथ्स में 10 में से 2 नंबर आए हैं. So our target is to give them the real feedback, how they are using these muscles, and this is a beautiful made in India startup by Shartoon Labs, and they have designed this Physi software where we can study the muscles, we get the surface EMG, we get the joint range of motion, and which we can print and give it to our patients so that they understand how they are progressing over time. And then this is another game changer that we have here, that is robotic spinal decompression. It's very, very important in vestibular rehabilitation, because if you are trying to develop the balance, if you are trying to improve their overall spinal alignment, it's very important that the spine has to be thoroughly taken care. So this robotic maneuver, we have their target areas where we give the decompression, we bring about the spinal alignment corrections, and then we put them into balanced retraining and other maneuvers. So this actually helps to provide deep mechanoreceptor stimulation and combined vestibular and cervical movement. It is really beneficial to the patients. Now, another important question is when to integrate. Whenever there is a complex presentation by a patient, dual sensory loss, multifactorial dizziness, elderly, and definitely your physician will guide you through. Patient with poor prognosis and who are on traditional VR alone. So I will repeat myself, when we talk about vestibular rehabilitation, definitely physiotherapists play a very important role, but vestibular rehab is a different subset that needs specialization and need for cross-speciality referral and concurrent therapy. So knowing when to integrate is the key. So if you understand your patient well, and one of the most easiest thing to understand your patient well is history. That makes up 80 to 90% of the entire game. So if the patient plateaus or develops secondary symptoms like muscle tightness or emotional distress, it's time to expand the therapeutic toolkit. Early identification of complexity, it can actually improve the outcomes dramatically. So thorough patient examination with history taking is the most important aspect in vestibular rehabilitation. So we have a lot of patient-centered qualitative and quantitative tests that we do in our clinic. This is your Unterberger step test. That is, I would say it goes wrong many a times, but it is indicative, and we are doing the trials to understand in how many cases that it has given us the right results, because we use VNG most often in our patients. So we are trying to just compare two things, and then we have a lot of other balance tests. We are using CVEMP also. We have the audiometry team that takes care of things. So there are a couple of tests that we regularly do to understand our patients well. So this is video nystagmography, as there was a beautiful topic. I have the electronystagmography and the video nystagmography both. So you know, from cycle, if you get a four-wheeler, you will always love your four-wheeler. You would not like to ride your cycle. But the thing is, the cycle is the base of your balance. If you don't know how to ride a cycle, probably driving a four-wheeler, getting the lane sense would be difficult. So we cannot do without both of them, but yes, with the advent, now we've got a bigger vehicle with us. It is able to look back into the patient history and helps us to understand graphically also where my patient is going. So video nystagmography is something now we feel has become a very integral part of our vestibular rehabilitation practice. So again, for Dick Halpike maneuver, like the first line of choice is bedside examination. If your patient is affordable, or if you are suspecting certain things which your eyes cannot see, because as we have been discussing since morning, आँखें भी होती हैं चक्कर का बयान. So if you're not getting your bayan properly with your eye examination, VNG is definitely the tool of choice. And yes, personalized treatment plan is very, very important, and interdisciplinary collaboration. I just cannot do without my neurologist. They have to guide me through, and if we get stuck, then we are always contacting our ENT to get things clear, because every specialization has its own specific domain. And then progress monitoring and adjustment is very, very important. We have to continuously keep assessing whether this rehabilitation is going in the right direction, whether I'm taking care of other spinal problems, balance problems. It's a big umbrella under which we keep our patient. So it's imperative that your umbrella is fully open and it's being analyzed. And this is one of our patients. Did I miss? Okay, I guess I missed the this thing. Okay, so basically this was a patient of lateral canal, and she was in extreme fear, and it had typical nystagmus that we could see. And let me just check if I'm not mixed up with my slides. Yes, you cannot appreciate nystagmus, it's being corrected. So basically what we did the lateral Guffoni maneuver. This is my favorite vestibular bed. I feel with so many patient load per day, putting the pillow and getting the angle sometimes get difficult. So we make use of this mobile bed so that we can get to the exact angle that we are looking for. And yes, you have VNG. If you don't have VNG, do the testing yourself. If you are able to find out the canal, your doctors will help you again and just correct it. Most peripheral disorders, they need just 2 to 3 sittings and we achieve our results. Okay, so other adjuvant therapy, this is exactly what I was mentioning about. This is our HIV graph when the patient comes for the first time. We see the SD1 and SD2 plot, and this variability tells us that my patient is under great stress. And then we put them on Relax 701, where you can see the relaxation percentage achieved is about 74%. So we take this on day 1, and then we keep giving them stress therapy, vestibular therapy, and then we repeat that on day 3. Then day 5, maybe day 7, and when they see their graph coming up, relaxation percentage coming up, we also have a special journal designed for stress management in the patient. So that is very reinforcing for them to get over their imbalance issues. Along with that, we have this spinal shock wave therapy. That's another game changer. It's much more advanced than our traditional ultrasound. It helps to deliver high intensity sound waves to get the spinal problems corrected. Then we have laser type 3, and then we have other modalities that we commonly use to correct our spinal issues. Patient education and self-management is very, very. We've seen many a times patient coming in stretcher and they are not ready to listen. They are like कि नहीं हम उठेंगे तो ये होगा, उल्टी आएगी. It's all right. We need to counsel them. We need to tell them it's a part of the therapy. We are going to look into your problem in a much deeper sense.